Burlington Mayor Marianne Meed Ward joins us this morning for her weekly chat, updates on what's happening in the city of Burlington. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Tim.
Okay, so you were part of a group that called on the province to make vaccines mandatory for hospital and long-term care workers. What were your thoughts of yesterday's announcement?
Well, I'm pleased that it's moving that direction. So the Ontario big city mayors as well as GTHA mayors have called for and supported proof of vaccine. This is about how we keep each other safe and help protect hospital capacity, because the evidence shows that over 95% of people in hospital, including in ICU, are unvaccinated. So the numbers and the science speaks for itself. Vaccines keep you out of hospital. It helps keep you and others safe. And so for those who are still dragging their feet, we're going to say you need to be vaccinated if you're going to be out in public.
Have you had many honest conversations with those people that are, let's say, dragging their feet when it comes to not being vaxxed?
Well, what do you mean by honest?
Well, I'm just saying, just like not like yelling at each other, just like actually just kind of sitting down and saying, okay, so what's the deal? Why not?
I have had lots of folks reach out and share information that they have read from some source or another on Facebook. And when I look into that, or Instagram, when I look into the source, these are not doctors. These are not people that are qualified to weigh in on science and health. They're sketchy. And so I have lots of dialogue with folks around, look, if you have any concerns about the vaccine, please talk to your family doctor. Don't get your information from your friend or some random source on social media. Go straight to your doctor. Talk to Access Halton 311. Talk to our medical officer of health and her team, and they will be able to, walk you through the concerns that you might have, but more importantly, encourage you to get the vaccine. It is safe for the overwhelming majority of the community. It keeps you out of hospital. It keeps your loved ones out of hospital. You can still get COVID with the vaccine, but you will be spared the most egregious of the symptoms, up to and including potential risk of death.
Yeah. How close do you look at like cities like New York City, where they're doing like a vaccine passport for restaurants? Like, do you kind of look at that?
Completely. No, completely support that, because that's a voluntary choice to go to a restaurant. I think there needs to be made a distinction between services that you have to have or you have a right to be provided versus things that you voluntarily choose to do. And if you voluntarily want to go to a restaurant, you don't have a right to endanger the health of everyone around you. And public health was established, a century ago for that reason. It's public. The health of all of us depends on the actions of each other. And so none of this is new. I had to show proof of vaccination for my kids to go to school. So we have had these policies in place for a very long time. And if you choose to go out to voluntary programs, restaurants, things of that nature, you should be willing to respect the health of everyone around you and respect a vaccine policy.
Okay, so we
and
definitely
a mandatory policy to
we
to
definitely
be
know where you stand on that about all those topics. Okay, we're running out of time. I wanted to get to two things. We'll see how much time we have. Holding registration for fall programs for kids and adults. Is that next Saturday?
It's coming up quick, yes.
Coming up quick.
Yeah, and we are obviously restricted in terms of numbers by whatever the provincial policies are at the time, but we've had lots and lots of uptake from the community, so I know they're itching to get their kids enrolled.
Okay. City of Burlington has approved $500,000 for 3 new rainbow crosswalks around the city.
Take a zero off that.
Take a zero off that?
Take a zero off that. Oh, my goodness.
It's in the teleprompter. I just read what's in the teleprompter, Mayor.
Yeah.
$50,000 for 3 new rainbow crosswalks across the zone. One beside the Halton Catholic District School Board's offices. Message to the board, perhaps, that they voted not to raise the pride flag this year?
Well, we had the chair of the board speaking to local press saying that they support this visible symbol of inclusion next to their building. And I've heard from many Catholic parents, teachers, students that requested this and that are fully supportive of this. So the message is actually overwhelming, that the rainbow crosswalks need to be near schools. And that's what I've heard for the last year since our first one went in. at Lakeshore and Burlington, that they should be in visible spots, but the overwhelming preference was near schools and school boards. So we've got one at Robinson, which is also the Halton District School Board site. We've got one out at RBG, which is highly, high pedestrian visitor, West End access to the city. It shows folks as soon as they come into Burlington that we're an inclusive, welcoming community. And of course at Drury and Fairview, which is very high visibility, and the future home of several thousand new residents. So in addition to being near the school board. So
Wonderful.
the board the board chair supports it, Catholic parents support it, and so do I.
And now we have our lead for the 6th of how much money you're spending on new rainbow crosswalks. So thank you for that too.
Thank you.
Thanks for all
You're very welcome.
Thanks for coming on the show. We'll see you next week.